Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another counter-side video. Alright, a lot of you guys have requested me to make this video, therefore here I am. Alright, we're going to compare solely Awaken SOOYEON versus Awaken SEO YOON. This comparison is going to be very thorough. I'm not going to jump into their skills. I've already made an individual video talking about each of their skills and kits. So if you guys want to watch that video, I'll link them in the description. But in this video, we're going to be comparing them in terms of their price tag, being an Awaken character, and just jump straight into like which is going to be a much more valuable Awaken character for your account overall as a free-to-play, by the way. Again, a gentle reminder to all of you guys out there, I know this is going to be a little bit of a heated discussion. If you guys disagree with any of my points, feel free to write in the comment section below. I'll try my best to read them and address them. But at the end of the day, take everything you see here with a grain of salt because this is going to be my personal opinion. Alright, I will try my best to compare them as fair as I can. But I do think that every Awaken in the game have their uses. Like, I don't think there's any useless Awaken units at all in the game. Like, all of them are useful, right? Like, however, I do think that in terms of usefulness, there's definitely some Awaken that you can take advantage of more, and your life is going to be slightly easier if you have them. So let's jump into it. Alright, so let's jump into a couple of different areas before we talk about Awaken SOOYEON versus Awaken SEO. We're going to compare all of them in both PvE and PvP. But first, in PvE, we will look at C server and compare all of the end game PvE contents that we have access to right now. So right now, if you guys are not aware, the raids is probably one of the toughest thing. Raids, Nightmare, level 150. So this will be divided into two, both Britra and Inhibitor raids. So these are both very tough, especially for global players to try to tackle right now. So this is going to be one point that we're going to compare. So later on, there'll be this thing called the Guild Co-op or Guild Boss. Now this one will come way, I believe end of this month or early next month. So it might come alongside with all the other features, right? So Consortium Co-op Battle. So what you do is you hit this worm boss and then you also have to attack the arena to get the buffs according buffs. So I feel like this is going to be one of the harder contents, but I don't think this is as hard as the other contents that are coming later on. Now, moving on, we also have the toughest content right now in C server, if you guys are in KR server regardless, right? If you guys are not aware, it's going to be the highest level dive. Now, this one is not yet available in global, but if you look through all the way up to the, after dive 45, you get 46, 47. 46 and 47 is slightly difficult than 45, but not by much. But once you go to 48, 49, 50, this is going to be a big jump. Alright, so obviously, this is something that global might struggle. In fact, I can assure you, plenty of C players still can't beat dive 48 to 50 until today. Which is crazy. Like, it's actually crazy if you think about it, right? So dive 48 to 50, I do think that this is going to be one of the toughest, if not the toughest contents for a lot of players out there. Later on, there's also one stage called the Relic Dungeons. Now, this one is also arguably, a lot of players have been saying, this is one of the toughest one until today, is in the challenge stage. Now, this one is divided into 3 stages. Alright, we have the Steely Ruins, the Traces of Resistance, and the Where Nightmares Prevail. You will need a very specific niche comms or very niche units to be able to tackle them and beat them at the hardest difficulty stage. And you want to ideally get them at 3 stars so that you can stack them, or else you're going to be farming them like crazy, right? So that's the objective as well. I think a lot of players want to lean towards. So Relic Dungeons. I think by far these two is going to be the hardest PvE contents ever. This one is quite, in my opinion, is quite crucial because you need to farm the materials to be able to upgrade your T6 to T7, like your mace gears and those, right? And then we also have this thing called the Shadow Hall or Shadow Palace. Shadow Hall and Shadow Palace is difficult, but it's not as difficult as these two. A lot of players will be able to breeze through them easily. There is a timer, but you don't have to beat them as fast as the others because the timer doesn't matter in Shadow Hall and Shadow Palace. The timer is just there to basically have a ranking. If you are able to beat it faster, you'll be in the top ranks, and that's about it. Like for you to show off or something, there's no like real benefit. You don't need to be able to like skip or stack the stages, whereas Relic Dungeons you really need to complete it within 1 minute 30 seconds to be able to beat those stages. And last but not least, Danger Close, which is something that a lot of players are currently struggling. Now, global players are struggling with Danger Close, at least in the highest difficulty for sure. Therefore, a lot of Awaken units can help you a little bit. Now, obviously, once a lot of C players have stopped using Awaken units in Danger Close, a lot of C players have moved on to trying to only use SSR because you can have that no Awaken buff. So let's talk about where they shine. So we're gonna start off with the Britra and Inhibitor Nightmare. This one we're talking about the highest level, highest difficulty, level 150. Awaken SOOYEON wins right here, by far. Alright, so just keep in mind that Britra and Inhibitor, right now, I think Global is still having Britra only, right? And if you play Britra, you know that it's hard for Global to do level 130 and level 150 for now. You get destroyed. You need Awaken SOOYEON. Awaken SOOYEON can help you do a lot of things right here in this raid boss. So I feel like ASY wins right here by far. Awaken SOOYEON has the highest damage in terms of the ceiling of all the characters. Like she's definitely one of the best characters if you're just looking for pure damage. She shines in damage in areas that you need a lot of damage for sure. If you're trying to beat Britra and Inhibitor Nightmare, especially in raids, she's going to be your top damage dealer, your top ranking charts. Now, in Guild Co-op, this one, I would argue that they are both equally good, but I would argue that ALSY leads slightly because ALSY is useful for being at the left side. At the Worm Boss, she will be able to, you know, help a little bit in the left side. Now, Awaken SOOYEON, useful as well. Like I said, Awaken SOOYEON will be able to do damage, right? So I think this one is going to be much more equal than you think. So you know what? I'm just going to put them as equal. Alright, so dive 48 to 50. Now this one, same thing applies. Alright, so dive 48 to 50, there's plenty of strats, plenty of variation. I feel like they are both really strong right here. Alright, although I do feel like ALSY gives a little bit more because the ability for her to buff other non-awakened rangers is quite crucial right here, especially if you use Kawong or someone else to be able to help you a little bit. But it depends on what strat you're using. Both, I would say, quite strong right here. Now, if you're looking for... I do use both of them. Although, I would say that it's easier to replace Awaken SOOYEON later on with Ministra because Ministra can also do something and a little bit more, right? So here, I want to say equal for now, but once you get Ministra, probably you're going to use her over Awaken SOOYEON, right? So that's going to be something that's crucial. Now, Relic Dungeons, this is where it's very important in my opinion. Again, I feel like this place is something that I do farm quite often, alright? It's quite crucial if you're trying to upgrade a lot of your T6 to T7 and you need a lot of materials, lots of it. It's crazy. If you don't have Awaken Lee SOOYEON, I don't know how you can do this. Awaken SOOYEON doesn't shine in Relic Dungeons as well, at all, right? I'm not saying that she can't be used, I just feel like you need ALSY for at least one of the stage. The Where Nightmares Prevail, this is the accessory stage. This one is going to be the easiest out of the three. If you have Awaken Lee SOOYEON, you can just cheese through it. These two, I guarantee you will not be able to do it when it comes out in Global. I read that it's coming out in Global in August. When it comes out on day 1, I guarantee you can't beat stage 4 of these 3 stars. You will not be able to do it on Global when it comes out. This one as well. These 2 stages, on Global, day 1, I guarantee you cannot beat these 2 stages. This is going to be the easiest stage for you if you have Awaken Lee SOOYEON, that is. So, again, feel free to prove me wrong. Alright, I really want to see if any global players can beat that on day 1 when it comes out, because according to the roadmap, it's coming out in August, which is next month, and I don't think we have like all the crucial characters to be able to beat it. So we'll see. Now, moving on, Shadow Hall and Shadow Palace. Now this one, I do feel like Awaken Lee SOOYEON again shines right here. Alright, so Awaken Lee SOOYEON makes your life a lot easier. There's one stage that you can cheese. A lot easier to have Awaken Lee SOOYEON because she's a flying unit. Being a flying unit is just something that's harder to replace than being a ground unit, whether you like it or not, because there's not much flying units. Whether you like it or not, you can look at all the ranges out there. There's not enough flying units compared to ground units. It's just a natural fact. Therefore, Awakened Lee SOOYEON is going to have that value attained to her. Last but not least, Danger Close. Alright, so this one I'm gonna say they are quite equal. Now in terms of damage, yes, Awakened SOOYEON will be able to provide you more damage in Danger Close. You will be able to beat the boss easier, you will be able to deal more damage overall. But the thing is, damage is not everything. Awakened Lee SOOYEON doesn't provide much damage, but she provides utility to everyone else. Alright, she gives the other rangers skill haste plus 30%. If you bring Rosaria, if you bring Kalwong, they will be able to benefit from that. I do feel like Awakened Lee SOOYEON is going to be it's going to shine slightly more based on the bosses. So far you can see Awakened SOOYEON, I would say, shines in terms of the damage. If you need a lot of damage, sure, she's going to shine right there. But Awakened Lee SOOYEON shines in places that you can cheese, and these two arguably is going to be harder than these two. Let's talk about guild co-op and let's talk about the raids. Now for me, raids is not something that I struggle personally. I don't think it's a good advice for me to ask you guys to, hey, go and pull for this character because she's strong in raids. Now again, I'm coming from a very privileged point of view because I have active friends. Alright, my friends list are always active. There's a lot of people constantly that wants to add me as friends because I'm a YouTuber and stuff. So coming from that point of view, yes, I always have active friends. So people that are active in my friends list, yes, this guy is 290 days, but players that are active in my friends list, usually they will help me to hit my raids, and that's how raids work. You don't need to do it alone. Alright, if you're pulling for raids, that shouldn't be your approach ideally. But then again, I can also understand for some players that are much more lone wolf, for example. I'm not bashing anyone. If you play the game, you don't have much friends, I can understand why you might struggle with raids later on, because raids is a big part of the game. It gives you a lot of good gears, alright, a lot of equipments, and you ideally want to, if you have Awakened SOOYEON, she is pretty much key, pretty much crucial. She can actually help you solo the Britra raid, level 150. I mean, not her alone, of course, you need a few others, but she's one of the key characters. She's always going to be the top damage dealer. Definitely, if you're trying to solo Britra level 150, you need Awakened SOOYEON. Alright, Awakened Lee SOOYEON doesn't help much in raids. Guild co-op, again, this one, I don't think this is a big problem for a lot of players because you are in a guild. If you don't have a certain character, hopefully the other members in your guild can carry you. But again, same thing, I am coming from a very privileged standpoint of view. I always have active guilds because there's always people constantly that wants to join my guild. A lot of people keep asking me, hey, is there spots in your guild etc, right? So if you guys are in a dead guild, I can see why this is going to be an issue. You might not have enough damage to beat the worm boss because there's a guild co-op is important. The rewards are quite crucial. Alright, you want to be able to get this particular one. I'll see if I can show it. There's this kill points reward. Alright, you can see you get up to 800 quartz at the end with all of these. And there's this total participation reward where you just need to participate. This one is definitely much easier to get. This one you don't need to rely on other people. But the kill points reward, you sort of have to rely on other people. And you can see you get a lot of this set binary, which is important for free to play. If you're free to play, this is where the rewards lie. So you ideally, these two, are they important overall? That depends on you. Like I said, for me, I wouldn't pull a character that excel in these two areas because this is not something that you do alone. It's something that you can do with your friends or with your guildmates. But this area, Danger Close, Shadow Hall, Shadow Palace, Relic Dungeons, and Die 48, 48, Die 50, you cannot rely on friends. This is where you're struggling and you are doing it alone. So you can see where ASY shines is in the area that you can't rely on anyone else. So I do think overall, based on my point of view, based on this particular chart in the high-end or end-game contents right now that we have available, ASY is going to be proven more useful overall. So yeah, I think this pretty much concludes the video. Hopefully you guys find this informative. Again, at the end of the day, it's a game. So pull for who you think you like. If you don't want headache, you just want to play and enjoy the game, it's a game, alright? It's a gacha game. Just pull for who you like, alright? If you're someone that spends money on the game, it probably won't matter too much in the long run, especially if you plan to play this game for at least 1 year plus. But I can see if you're free to play and you're trying to like maximize or trying to like get as much value as you can, I would say that, you know, get Awaken Lee SOOYEON if you can, if you have spare right now. And then we know in August we're gonna have Awaken Na Yubin. So that one maybe you can skip if you want to skip. And then Awaken SEO YOON might be after. And then I would say save for Ministra. That's going to be the best bang of the buck. Pull for ALSY, save for Ministra, and these two would definitely help you a lot in the long run. I feel like Ministra do replace Awaken SEO YOON in a lot of situations later on. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you agree or disagree, feel free to, you know, write in the comment section below. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice day and goodbye.